Hi, this is Don McAllister and welcome to this special update video. After many months of development, I'm delighted to announce the release of significant updates to offer a consistent viewing experience across the iPad, the iPhone, Apple TV and the Screencast Online website. But let's start with looking at the new SCO Members app on iPad. Now I'm going to be demonstrating this on my iPad Pro with my trusty Apple Pencil just for clarity, but the same functionality exists on the iPhone. So let's go ahead and open the new version of the SCO Members app. We've renamed the dashboard view to the gallery view, but it has the same three sections: recent tutorials, liked tutorials, and watching. You'll notice that the tiles are now slightly different in that we have a new watched indicator. So in each tile we have this little dot. So the first dot here, the solid blue dot means that the episode is unwatched, so I haven't started watching that as yet. The empty dot means that it's been completely watched, and you'll also see there's a progress indicator going right across the tile as well. And the next one along, the partially filled dot, indicates that it's partially watched, and again you can see from the indicator just how much we've watched this particular episode. So of course any new tutorials that are published will appear in the left-hand position. Now, just as an aside, these two tutorials with the blue footers just indicate that these shows have been downloaded to the device itself, and I'll explain more about that in a later section. In the liked tutorials, again, same tiles. Likes are really a way of bookmarking a show if you want to get back to it quickly in the future. So, for instance, if I wanted to bookmark or like the MS Word show, I just tap on the little heart. That's now liked. We'll say done. And that now appears in the correct position in the liked tutorial section. The bottom section are those tutorials that we're actually watching at the moment. So at the moment, I'm partway through 3 tutorials. Again, if I go back to the MS Word tutorial and then just tap on the play button, I'll switch the volume off for now, but we'll just, in fact, we'll progress that through. I'll pause, I'll say done, and done again. And you'll see that that MS Word show now appears in my watching tutorials. Again, the indicators change to show that I'm partially through watching the show, and I can see at a glance just how far through I am. Now, all these changes are synced across to the Apple TV and also the Screencast Online website, along with your playback position as well. So once you've watched a show partway through, that playback position is remembered on all your devices. Let's take a quick look at some changes to the show page. For instance, let's go into Pixelmator Pro. Now, across the top, we have, as before, the liked symbol, so I can tap liked. If you're a full Screencast Online annual member, and you have a full annual membership, you can tap on this button here, and this will download the show locally to your device. So this is a fairly big show, so it's progressing, but we can just leave that running in the background and come back to that later. And then there's also this play button here. If I tap done at this point, you'll see the progress of the download is indicated in this tile. But back into the tile, I can watch it from here as well. I can also, at this point, just swipe across to look at the other tutorials without having to go back to the gallery view, and then swipe back the other way. Now there is an option down here in the bottom showing me the running time and the watch status. So I've currently seen this show, it's completely watched. But let me just go back to the gallery view. If you want to change the status of any of these watching tutorials, let's say I don't actually want to complete that, or I might have just got to the end of this one with a few seconds to spare, I can tap on here. I can tap on this indicator down at the bottom, and now if I go back, that will be removed from the watching tutorial section. Okay, let's go back into Pixelmator Pro, which is completely downloaded now. I can also, as well as swiping from show to show, by swiping in the main body, I can also swipe in the footer to see the tutor information, the show number, and also now to see the topics or tags. These are the related topics or tags that are available. So if I wanted to see all the shows to do with photography, I can just tap on here, and that will bring all the related tutorials up in a single view. And we're currently working through all the tags and sort of sanitizing them and adding new tags in. So this will change over time. But we'll just say done to that. And then we'll say done to come out of the show view. Let's take a look at some of the other views. We have an all tutorials view. Now I can filter this view as well if I want. If I tap in the top corner, I can sort by publication date or tutorial title. Let's leave it with date. I can filter by the year, and then there are different tutorial types down here. Either all tutorials, downloaded and downloading, liked, tutorials being watched and unwatched. So you can experiment with the filters to find just the view that you want. I'll just tap away from there. We have a new topics view. So these are all the like the top 12 tags or topics. And again, you can have a look at these just by tapping on them. A new playlists view. I've set up 3 playlists for now. iWork apps, MS Office apps, and apps that are included in SetApp subscriptions. But again, I will be creating more playlists, and these will be updated dynamically as new shows are added. And finally, a new downloaded view. So these are all the shows that I've downloaded to this particular device. Of course, this is specific to my iPad, so the view might be different on other devices. But I have 4 tutorials downloaded and ready to watch offline. Again, downloading is only available to people with the full 12-month Screencast Online membership. If you want to upgrade from a monthly membership or any restricted membership, just go ahead and head over to the website and go to your members panel. We've also included a bulk delete option from here as well, because you might end up with quite a few downloaded tutorials. So what you can do, if I click on edit, if I select that one and that one, I can now delete those both in a single tap, and that space is recovered on your machine. So back to the gallery view. Now, it might be the first time that you run this application. If you've been a member for a while, there might be quite a lot of watching tutorials. You might have stopped tutorials partway through, or you might have got to the last 5 seconds, and they will all appear in here. So you might have a very, very long list of watching tutorials. You might want to reset, and we've included a feature whereby you can reset both your liked tutorials and also your watching tutorials in one fell swoop. The way you would do that is if we come out and go to the settings application. Then if you search for SCO Members in the setting app, we'll select that. You'll see we have the option to reset playback data at next launch and also reset liked data at next launch. So either or both, and then when you go back into the gallery view, it will be completely fresh and you can start again liking tutorials and watching tutorials. But let me come out of here and go back into here. So we've got a long list of recent tutorials across the top. We've got 3 liked tutorials and 3 watching tutorials. Let's go across to the Apple TV and look at the new user interface on the Apple TV. Across over on the Apple TV, and I have the new app installed. You may need to go across to the Apple TV App Store to update the app. But if you have the new app, there will probably be a little blue dot next to the SCO Members label below it. If not, just check it out in the App Store. But let me go ahead and run it. And as you can see, we have this brand new gallery view across on the Apple TV as well as on the iPad and iPhone. So 3 sections: recent. We have the recent section, we have the like section, and we also have the watching section. So again, as on the iPad, all the recent shows will appear here. Any shows that you like will appear here, and any shows that you're partway through watching will appear in the 3rd section. We also have the indicators as well. So the little blue dot indicates that the show is unwatched. An empty dot indicates you've watched it completely. And the partially filled dot means that you're partway through watching the show. Now, if you want to change the liked or the watch status, you can do that from the Apple TV. If we go into this Microsoft Word show, some changes here. You'll see down the side we have the relevant tags. Now, unfortunately, you can't select them on the Apple TV, but you can see the various tags and topics that are related to this show. I can watch it from here by tapping the button straight away. Now, this is currently liked already. In fact, let me just go back out a level. Yeah, you see it appears in the liked section as well as the watching section. So if I go back in, if I want to remove it from the liked section, I can just select that button. And now if I come out, you'll see, there we go, it disappears from the like section. If I want to mark this show as watched, I just go back into the show, go across to here, and just say marked watched. And if we come back out, it will disappear from the watching section. Go back up to the top, we have the all tutorials view. This is the same as the dashboard view that we had on the previous Apple TV. So you can go through and have a look at all the tutorials. We have a new topics view. Now, the first time you run this, you may see that it might take a few seconds for the tiles to regenerate. These are all brand new tiles with the watched indicator, the duration, and the date it was published. But the topics down the side equate to the top 12 different tags or topics that I've assigned to these particular videos. So if we want to have a look at all the Apple Watch, I can just go to here, give it a few seconds to refresh. This will only happen the first time that you run the application. For instance, if I go back up to Apple TV, those tile images are cached, and also now the Apple Watch images are cached. So we'll see as we go to Core iOS, just takes a few seconds for those tiles to refresh. Back up to the top, we have playlists. So again, the 3 playlists, iWork apps, Microsoft Office apps, and Set app. If you have any suggestions for playlists that you'd like me to assemble, please let me know. And then we have a search option. I can just swipe down, I can use a dictation search, or I can type in a search to find any particular show. Back out a level, and then an option to log out. If we just go back across to the gallery, so now we have our recent across the top, 2 in our liked section, and 2 in our watching section. If you want to reset your liked and watching on your Apple TV, just go ahead to the SCO Members app on your iPad or iPhone, reset it using the Settings app as I showed you, and those changes will be reflected over here on the Apple TV. Okay, so that's the Apple TV. Let's take a quick look at the Screencast Online website. So across over on the Screencast Online website, I'm going to go ahead and log in using the same login that I've used on the Apple TV and also on my iPad. So let me go ahead and say login. And we have a brand new home screen for members across on the Screencast Online website. So again, the 3 sections, recent tutorials, liked tutorials, and watching, these all match both the iPad and also the Apple TV. They have the same tile format as well. So we have the watch status, the duration, the date it was published. So this one is unwatched, this one is completely watched, and this one is partially watched. We also have the little indicator here that shows how far we are into the show itself. If I want to change status, so for instance, if I want to mark this one as watched, I can go into here. We get the pop-up asking me to either start from the beginning or continue watching from a certain period. So I'm going to say cancel to that. And then down here, I'm going to say mark as watched. Okay, I could toggle this to unwatched as well, but we'll leave that for now. I'll go back to the home screen. And we can now see that the indicator has changed to watched. It's also disappeared from the watching tutorial section as well. Now, because this is browser-based rather than swiping across, we have some extra buttons here. So if I just tap on this button on the right-hand side, it scrolls across. And if I tap on this button on the left-hand side, it scrolls back. So thanks to Simon Wolf for all the efforts on the SCO Members app, both on the iPad, iPhone, and also the Apple TV. And thanks to Jamie Peake for changes to the database and also for changes to the Screencast Online website. We'll be doing some final testing now that the apps and the website is live. So bear with us for a couple of days if we do find any small inconsistencies, but hopefully by the end of next week, everything should have settled down. And don't forget, if you want to reset all your liked and your watching tutorials, go across to the SCO Members app on the iPhone or iPad and use the reset mechanisms in the Settings app. But that's it for this special update. We hope the new features make your Screencast Online membership even more valuable.